Hi, and welcome to Cosmic Consciousness with Cassia. On this channel, we discuss all aspects of the Ascension process. I have a variety of services that I offer to assist in your awakening journey, and you can find those listed in the description box below. Today, we're going to be doing the reading for Monday, April 5th, 2021. And we are still in this portal energy. We had the 4-4 portal yesterday. I got the video out a little late because I had a lot going on last week. However, that is up now, and those energies are extending throughout the month. So it is still relevant, and I definitely recommend that you check that out. And we have this portal that started at the end of last month and is going until the 8th. And so when we're in this energy, we want to make sure that we're taking extra good care of our physical bodies, of our emotional bodies, and of our spiritual bodies, our energy bodies. We're receiving a lot of activations. We're receiving a lot of downloads and information and upgrades. And so we're in the process of also integrating those, and it is absolutely a process. We're probably going to need more rest. You want to take a lot of care as far as rest and food and all of that stuff goes. Energy work is also a really great way to help integrate these energies, as well as acupuncture. That's being brought to my attention, and that's something that I have utilized in the past. It helps to soothe the meridians, and so definitely a good thing that may be helpful for somebody who's watching. As far as the energy work goes, I do a type of energy work called Belvaspata. It works with angelic energies. It works with other high dimensional beings and high dimensional frequencies. And it was gifted to humanity to aid in this ascension process. And so if you are feeling like you're lagging a little bit, you're possibly wanting some assistance with the integration of these energies, please reach out to me. As I said, my information is in the description box below. Just shoot me an email. But yes, this energy, we're feeling it. We're loving it. Today is a day that's ruled by the root chakra and guided by intelligence. And the galactic signature for today is the yellow galactic human. And I want to point out that in the 4-4 portal video that I just did, we also talk about the planetary moon, because a new planetary moon started on the 4-4 portal, the planetary moon of manifestation. And so check out that 4-4 portal video. Wow, it starts to be a tongue twister when you say that too many times. Check out that video for more information on the moon or month that we are in the galactic calendar now. But this yellow galactic human energy is all about influencing free will and wisdom. And with the galactic tone, which is all about harmonizing, modeling, and integrity, we're really being asked to model our wisdom, right? To act upon that wisdom as a way of sharing that wisdom in the world, because that's what this yellow human energy is all about. It's all about the fact that we all have free will. Our free will choices are what create our experience, and we have complete control over what free will choices we make, and therefore what type of experience we have in this reality. And all of our collective experience and wisdom is what shapes our collective reality. And so we're really looking at the ways that we can influence that collective reality simply by sharing and modeling our wisdom and modeling that with integrity. What experience have we had as a spiritual being living this human incarnation, this human experience, and how can we model that, and how can we share that wisdom in order to help guide others? This is an energy that takes into account the fact that we are a collective consciousness. And so really when we are thinking, when we are speaking, when we are acting, really to understand how we are influencing the whole. Every little thing we do influences the whole, because we are that one energy, right? And so really understanding that and looking at how it is that we can contribute to that with the wisdom of our experience. That experience, of course, being a result of our free will choices. The affirmation for today is, I harmonize in order to influence, modeling wisdom. I seal the process of free will with the galactic tone of integrity. I am guided by the power of intelligence. And remember, integrity is when our truth matches our words, our actions, and our deeds, right? All right. So we have some pretty impactful astrology going on today. We have the moon, which has moved into the sign of Aquarius. Early this morning, as the moon was making its way through those final degrees of Capricorn, it did come into a conjunction with Pluto. And so this was sort of, I'm feeling an activation of our emotional bodies, of our instinctual bodies, of our intuitive capacities, right? Because Pluto is a very psychic, holds a lot, it's the planet of power. And so it holds a lot of psychic power. And so we really received an activation where that is concerned. And so today is a very psychically powerful day. We now have the moon in the sign of Aquarius, which is, we are all very familiar with Aquarius energies at this point. I want to see, before I get into the configurations here, just what the moon's up to. Yep, so the moon is now in a sextile to Mercury, and Mercury has just moved into the sign of Aries. It looks like, and this is what happens when I can't do the readings every day, there's a little brushing up to do. It looks as though either yesterday or the day before, Mercury moved into the sign of Aries. And so this is making our communication very impactful. We're feeling very bold in the ways that we're communicating. We may be a little reckless with our communication, so we want to make sure that we temper that. We want to make sure that we are choosing our words with care, because remember, our words create our reality. Words are spells. They hold a charge. They are very powerful, and they impact people in ways that we cannot possibly know. They impact the collective. They impact the world, and yes, they impact us as well. And remember, thoughts are words that haven't been spoken, and so we want to also be very careful with our thoughts right now. Make sure that we're tempering those. However, the plus side of this energy is that we are feeling courageous, we are feeling bold, and it's a very fiery thought process, very active, right? When we have fire in the mind, it's a very active energy. And so our minds are actively engaged. We're feeling that motivation to move forward. Our thoughts are bolder, and we're perhaps able to entertain different ideas and possibilities that we have before, things that we may have been almost afraid to look at or think about or acknowledge. We're getting a little bit more of that extra courage and that extra fire to do that. We also have Uranus in a sextile to Pallas today. And so this is really helping us with that thinking outside the box, with expanding our thinking, making our thinking bigger and bolder, and really seeing and understanding. We're able to understand those patterns. We're able to understand how things connect, put those dots together. And it's a strategic energy, but it's like strategy that's led by the higher mind, and then reinforced, of course, when we have Mercury over there in that sign of Aries, reinforced by that boldness as it's implemented. The Uranus-Pallas conjunction is kind of like how our higher mind is working to put things together, and then that Mercury in Aries energy is then how the mind synthesizes that and puts that into ACTION. Okay, so really cool energies we have there. And the moon will be moving into conjunction with Saturn, it looks like. Let me take a look at this in my chart here. Yes, the moon will be moving into conjunction with Saturn as well, who interestingly enough is at 1144 as far as the degrees go. So that's really interesting. 1144. Yeah. And the moon right now, 220, 0220. So interesting numbers that we have going on here. But yes, the moon will be moving into conjunction with Saturn. And so it's sort of like we get that boost, that activation from the Pluto energy. And then it's the grounding that in with the Saturn energy when the moon comes into conjunction with Saturn. And what this activation from Pluto is going to look like is going to be different for different people. I see it as a real activation of the emotional body and the way that relates to the psychic body as well. And just a really, really fascinating, interesting energy that we have going on. So sort of like an upgrade to our emotional bodies that translates into our intuitive. And we may experience some emotions coming up as we have this activation process underway. But just know that this is absolutely a very positive thing. And it's really cool because we go from Capricorn into Aquarius, right? So it's like that authority, that energy of Capricorn moving into Aquarius. And these are both signs that Saturn rules as well, which makes it, or Saturn was the original ruler of Aquarius before Uranus was discovered. And Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. So it's like the two different sides of Saturn here. And just bringing that energy through into the Aquarius, right? Out of the Capricorn and into the Aquarius, out of the old and into the new, is sort of the way that I look at the Capricorn energies sometimes, like the status quo, the established, and then like the new paradigm with the Aquarius energy. And so the old emotional paradigm, the old intuitive and empowerment paradigm into the new. I don't know if that makes any sense, but we're just going with it, and people will take from it what they will. We also have just some very interesting, we have a conjunction right now between true black moon and Eris. And we also have a lot of figures going on here involving true black moon and Eris. And so true black moon and Eris are in conversation with Mars and with Jupiter right now. And they're in these beneficial bisextiles. So the sextile energy, the trine energy, bringing them all together. And this feels very much like an integration of the feminine shadow, right? Because we also have very close, in a loose conjunction, we also have Venus and the Sun still. And so they're not conjunct enough that I would call this like a really powerful conjunction, but they're within energies enough that they're influencing each other. And so with Venus, we have like the softer feminine energy, right? And then Eris and true black moon are the energy that has a little bit more of a kick to it, right? It's also that those shadow energies and those empowerment energies. And so really the integration of these shadow aspects of the feminine, and also an integration where they're coming into conversation with the masculine energy, right? With Mars. But also with Jupiter, which is a masculine energy, but is like a different vibration of masculine energy. And so a blending and a melding of all of these energies together, and the ways that they're learning to work in concert with each other. We've had a lot of purging and a lot of healing, right, of the wounded feminine. And so now there's an integration happening with these aspects of the masculine and the feminine, where they're learning how to work together in harmony. And so we may experience this in lots of different ways. If there's still a lot of disharmonious connection that we have to these energies, either within ourselves, well, if we experience it without, it's because it exists within, right? So if there's a disharmony of those energies within ourselves still, we may see that playing out within ourselves and possibly in our interactions with others. If we are coming more into a place of harmony, we're just going to feel this more as an integration and more of a being able to act, being able to bring those shadow aspects of the feminine into the light, right? To really be able to utilize them and use them as assets. That's what we mean when we say bringing it into the light. We don't mean that we're changing those aspects. We just mean we're changing the way that we utilize them, act upon them, and experience and express them. And so that is coming into more harmony, more into alignment within us, which is a really gorgeous, empowering energy, especially when powered with this activation energy, right? From Pluto and the moon moving into concert with Saturn later on. I really, really like this for us. And then, of course, we have some more bisextiles going on here between the Sun, Venus, Saturn, and the nodes. And so this is very much our understanding of ourselves, of who we are, and the ways that we are acting upon and implementing that. The lessons that we've learned that have shifted us and changed our understanding of ourselves and moving out of that past understanding of who we were with the South Node into that new understanding of who we are with that North Node, and then what we want to do with that energy. What do I do now that I know who I am? Now that I have redefined who I am, what does that mean? What does that look like as I move forward in my life? So lots of really gorgeous, powerful energy that we are working with today. And I'm wanting to get a couple cards from the angels and ancestors. Clear. All right. What guidance do we have for today? April 5th, 2021. Oh, wow. Got a lot coming out here. So we have the Air Guardian. Shift your perception. We have the Elder. Move beyond ancestral patterns. Ooh. We have the Trader. Exchange energy to create abundance. The Hermit, retreat and recharge. And the Star Ancestor, follow the voice of your soul. So a lot of, with great teacher on the bottom of the deck, learn from spiritual experiences. All right. And so a lot of energies coming out here. And so part of how we're moving beyond these ancestral patterns is we are shifting our perception. We're shifting our beliefs. We're shifting our understandings of ourselves and the world. And as we naturally shift those things, we begin to heal these ancestral patterns. A lot of the ways that we look at and perceive the world are actually influenced by this ancestral patterning, which is present in our DNA. And so part of why we come here is to heal that. And as we heal that, as we move beyond that, right, we take the virtues and the wisdom of our ancestors, right? That's that yellow human energy. We take that wisdom, but anything that is outdated, anything that is limiting, we release and transcend. And that does that for our whole ancestral line. And of course, the whole greater collective as well. So this is powerful energy that we're working with. And we work with this a lot in Theta healing. If you guys are interested in trying that out, we work with shifting, recognizing and shifting those old ancestral beliefs and vows and commitments and all of that patterning. And so we're really, as our perception shifts, we are moving beyond a lot of those ancestral patterns that are no longer for the highest and best as far as our evolution goes. They were necessary at one point. They were helpful at one point. But now they're not as much, and now there are energies within that are wanting to be healed. And so this is huge energy. And then we have this energy with the Hermit. Like, this is really calling us. This is when we're talking about being in this portal energy and the intensity of that. This is telling you, if you need to retreat and recharge from a situation, please do so. If you are experiencing a lot of the intensities of these energies, and you feel stuff coming up within you that's wanting to be worked on, that's wanting to be healed, take that time to retreat and recharge. Right? Take that time to take care of yourself, and definitely take that time, if you are feeling triggered, take that time to pull back so that we don't act in a way that we later wish that we hadn't, right? So that we can understand and see what it is that was bringing up whatever reaction within us. And it's just that energy also of meditating and connecting, right? Because your star ancestors, your soul, right, has a lot to say right now. And so it's wanting you to retreat so that you can, and recharge so that you can hear, right? If we're incredibly drained, that blocks our connection. If we're keeping ourselves too busy, that blocks our connection, right? Our soul is quiet. We have to get quiet to hear it. And so our soul is really wanting us to do that today. And this is also a reminder when it says exchange energy to create abundance, right? Is that our manifestations don't happen in a vacuum. They happen, like, source works through people, right? It works through this physical reality. And so our manifestations come to us through this physical reality. And so if you want to create abundance, if you want to manifest, it's necessary to work with others in concert, right? To open up our energy and to really take advantage of the community, right? This yellow human energy is all about community. It's all about the collective. Just knowing and understanding that we can help each other, right? We're here to assist each other. We're here to grow together. We're here to become abundant together. And so how can you come together with others to create abundance? How can you practice that exchange of energy today? That giving and receiving, right? And as we open up that flow of giving and receiving, of course, that naturally attracts more abundance. So I love that. And just learning from whatever we're going through right now. There's a lot that we are learning, and forgiveness is coming to mind when I'm seeing this dove here. And also this being who has a Jesus-like vibe to him, right? So learning from spiritual experiences, and we may be learning a lot about forgiveness, about hope, about forgiveness, about trust. What is it that you are learning? What is your experience right now teaching you, right? Experience is our greatest teacher. And as we learned with that yellow human energy, experience comes from our free will choices. What choices have you made? What experiences happened as a result? And what can you take from that? What can you learn from that? What was the gift? What was the lesson, right? And yeah, definitely feeling some of those virtues of forgiveness, trust, vulnerability, all of the energies, hope that the dove represents. Any more energy from this deck for us? Actually, I'm wanting to, what do we have? Spring. See your seeds grow. So I love that energy for us, right? As we are moving deeper into spring right now, and we really are in this incredible manifestation energy. Like I said, check out the 4/4 portal video for more on that. Clear. What messages do we have from the Star Temple Oracle? Wow, that was interesting. Like a little stutter going on there. All right, we have the little star coming out. Divine, my inner child is whole and complete. So that inner child really wanting to come out and play today, really wanting to lead you. There's things that your inner child wants to show you and teach you, right? All aspects of art, everything is a teacher, right? All aspects of us. And so there's a lot, and this came up in the 4/4 portal reading too, right? This energy of the child and embracing that energy of the child again. There's so much that energy has to teach us. It reconnects us to our innocence. It reconnects us to our joy, to the purity of our spirit. And so really pay attention to your inner child, how it's asking to be acknowledged, healed, how it's wanting to work with you today, and bring more of that joy into your life. Bring more of that joy and that peace and that innocence into your life. And pay attention for where it's crying out for healing as well. And then we have Theta, the storyteller, intention. I am the narrator of my life, right? So this is us. You get to choose the story of your life, right? That's that free will. So what do you want to choose? What are you choosing? What have you been choosing? Today's a day where we may notice, it may become clear to us because of the trajectory of our life, the choices that we've been making up until now, right? We have that Uranus-Pallas energy that's really helping with that clarity. And so once we understand that, it's like, okay, what choices am I going to make now, right? And this is interesting. This hasn't come up. This card comes up a lot, and I haven't gotten this message from it. But this is also, when it says, I am the narrator of my life, this is where those stories and those beliefs come into play, right? Because what does the narrator do? The narrator tells the story. And so what is the story that you're telling? And is your life, perhaps, can you zoom out a little bit? Can you practice a little bit of detachment and look at where you may have been navigating your life based on your own perceptions and biases? And where may you have misperceived things as you were narrating your life because of a past belief or a past way of seeing the world that now you're perhaps shedding, right? Shift your perception. As your perception is shifting, would you narrate your life a little differently? What is the story? Does that change the story? And if so, then what does that mean? And how can you make adjustments accordingly? So that's really, and my right ear is ringing like crazy right now. So that's really interesting and fascinating that that's coming through like that this time. And then we have Acopius the seer, visionary. I chart the stars, signs, and symbols to craft magic. So really utilizing the knowledge of the planetary alignments and what's going on with those. Utilizing sacred symbols, right? Creating any type of ritual today is highly favored. And using that focused intention, right? Intention, a lot of times, I'm not necessarily always big on ritual, just because I know intention is my most powerful tool. So I simply focus my intention. But it is nice to play with that stuff sometimes. And there is a familiarity to it to me because I did do that in so many other lifetimes, that there's a remembrance that feels very sacred that I experience sometimes that's really beautiful. But today is saying that it's a day where you may want to work with that, and you may want to utilize any of the tools at your disposal in order to craft magic, to craft your intentions, and to really magnify those while we're in this portal energy, right? Intentions are so powerful. Your words, your thoughts are so powerful. So really take advantage of that. And yeah, pay attention to the signs, pay attention to what's trying to communicate with you, how spirit is trying to communicate you. I'm being drawn to the crow or the raven on his shoulder. And so and we had the dove energy too that drew my focus. So there may be people getting communication from birds right now too, or any type of spirit animals, but especially birds. Birds are messengers, right? And I love how this is black, and then we notice the dove as well. So the white and the black, right? The two different aspects, the contrasts, the duality there. And so pay attention to where those messages are coming from and what those messages are telling you. Yeah, crystal gazing may be really, I'm being drawn to his necklace, see? Like crystal gazing, scrying, any of those things. Playing into those magical aspects today, highly favored. And then we have the mirror, reflect. I hold up the mirror to see, accept, acknowledge, and love all of me. All right? So we're still in that process of doing that, of falling more deeply in love with ourselves, with all aspects of ourselves, right? Really embracing, we've got that feminine shadow energy that we're integrating, that we are integrating and balancing with those masculine aspects, all of that we talked about earlier, right? And so it's like this is, and with the dark and the light, with the birds, right? It's the shadow and the light, and really understanding how those are two equally important pieces of who we are. So really acknowledging and honoring all those aspects of ourselves today. And do I want to pull anything else? I think I'm going to pull one messenger oracle to clear. Let's get a messenger oracle card here to close for today, April 5th. And that's a lot of cards, which it always is, especially with this deck. But we're going to go with the top one here, which is love that you are different. And that's gorgeous. These cards are so interesting. And what does this have to say for us? You have strengths and weaknesses, and both are worthy of love. Know them, honor them, and do not heed those who tell you that you must change in order to fulfill their expectation of you. You will never be who others expect you to be. You can only be the unique individual you are meant to be. Love that you are different, for it is your differences and loving those differences that make you truly beautiful. So this is another aspect of this mirror energy, loving and accepting all of us. Accepting, yes, accepting the parts that we feel shame about, that we feel disconnected from. For some of us, we feel shame about parts of ourselves that are different, parts of ourselves that maybe when we were children growing up, we were told weren't okay, parts that we either inferred that we were supposed to hide, or we were actually directly told to hide. And we still find ourselves hiding and feeling nervous about revealing, even though we intellectually know it's safe now. And so this is saying, honor those parts of you and understand that there is no part of you that is wrong. Right? It is all perfect. This also came up in the 4/4 portal video, and we're talking about honoring the inherent perfection in everything. This is part of the energy for the moon, or the month that we are in right now. The moon of manifestation. So check out that portal video for more information on the month's energies. But this is so important right now. It's acknowledging everything about you is perfect. And yes, we are ever evolving, but we are inherently perfect simply because we exist. And all of those little quirks, all of those little things about you that others may have taught you to hide or to feel shame around, are some of the most beautiful things about you. And so really fall in love with those parts of yourself. And the more you fall in love with those parts of yourself, the easier it will be to share those parts with the world. All right. I love you guys. I appreciate you, and be without malice. So this is all about that energy of forgiveness that we were talking about, right? Forgiveness and acceptance. And this is that energy, like sometimes we feel as though we want revenge when we have been wronged, right? This is that energy of true black moon, that true black moon Eris energy, that we are in the energy of transmuting and transforming, right? So that we move from revenge to justice. So that we're not getting caught up in the lower vibrations of that energy. So this is a reminder of that. This is a reminder to practice forgiveness, to look at where we harbor resentment and regret and rejection within us. Those energies lower our vibration considerably. And so we want to learn to move through and release those, if for no other reason than for our own benefit. It's not condoning anything that's ever happened to us. It's saying happened for us, right? Not to us. It's simply saying, I refuse to allow that energy to affect me in a negative context anymore. So I'm releasing it. I'm forgiving. And if you guys need assistance with this, please, please, please reach out to me. My email's in the description box below. And then what do we have here? Need and necessity. That was for... Oh, okay. Look at the birds there, you guys. We got the black, the white, and they're integrated in the middle. That's wild, considering what we were just talking about, right? That is so interesting. And so this is really that balance. I mean, you got the yin yang, you got the sun and the moon. This card is all about balance, balancing and integrating energies, which is very, very much what we are in the process of doing right now. And then, of course, we are working with the feminine when it says embrace the feminine. And these are the cards that came out that I said we weren't going to work with all of them, but apparently we are. And then know your fears coming out with with that. So this is where that shadow side of the feminine is still coming out for that healing and integration. This is where we're moving out of that energy of malice and revenge, right? We're moving into this energy of forgiveness. We're moving into this energy of embracing the truth of what it means to be feminine, because there were a lot of lies that were told to us as far as what feminine energy is and isn't, right? There's a lot of shame around our feminine energies, a lot of fears associated with the embracing and the expressing of our feminine energies, and the ways that that energy was used and abused and taken advantage of in the past. And it's really interesting. I had a Theta healing session yesterday where we released some of these energies for me. And so this is, I guess, it sounds like a collective thing that we're working through as well, which is really funny how everything ties together, right? And so really understanding, what are your fears around embracing your feminine side? What are your fears of femininity? What are your fears around masculinity? But especially, what are your fears around embracing your femininity, and what that means in terms of how that will be received and treated by masculine energy as well. We're looking at that, but we're really paying attention to the deep healing of the feminine. And as we heal this energy, then we become balanced. And this is also the energy of need and necessity. That's what it says at the bottom of this. And I find that interesting, because I think that one of the misnomers about feminine energy is that it's needy, right? And that is absolutely not true. That is a lower vibration. That is not a higher vibration of feminine energy. And so we're really understanding, that's one of the things that we're beginning to understand. And I really like this also. For need and necessity, it's like, what in your life is a need? Oh, well, actually, we're going to read that from the book to close. But I also like how it says, let your emotions flow, and with love and kindness here. All right. As far as love without condition. So this is all gorgeous energy. And then know you belong, right? You belong just as you are. You are perfect just as you are. But this is also letting your emotions flow. You can't let your emotions flow if you don't know how to embrace your feminine energy, right? And so as a result, that energy gets stuck, and it creates a lot of problems and issues. And so we have to learn how to let those emotions flow, how to experience those, and to know that we are safe to experience those, and to allow ourselves to have that experience of our own emotion, because that is an aspect of our femininity. Our intuition is also an aspect of our femininity. So if we cannot embrace our femininity, we can't really embrace our intuition either, and that is stifled. So there's so much that goes into us. It's so important for us to understand and work through any of these issues that we have with our feminine energy, any of these blocks around our embracing and respecting of our feminine energies. And when we are able to do this, we realize the true power that the feminine energy holds, right? And so we're going to look at need and necessity here as well, and see what this has to say. Night and day exist within this very same moment. Creation and destruction wear the same face. You only see one or the other because you are not seeing the whole. While what you may see as harmful, another may believe to be good. All is based upon perception. And what was the first card? Shift your perception. In nature, all occurs according to need and necessity, not right or wrong. Ask yourself, is there a genuine need to act? Is change necessary for your continued well-being and happiness? If the answer is yes, then act. If the answer is no, then do not. And we're going to repeat that here. Ask yourself, is there a genuine need to act? Is change necessary for your continued well-being and happiness? If the answer is yes, then act. If the answer is no, do not. So that may be a question, an answer to a question that somebody had right there. All right, I love you guys. I appreciate you. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. I will be back. I should be able to be much more consistent again with the readings this week. Also be working on that new moon video that is coming up hot here, and we are going to be doing the new moon manifesting ceremony. So I will get the information for that out in the new moon video if you guys want to join for that. What else here? Yes, and the zodiacs will be coming out. I am aware of those, and those will be coming out over the next couple weeks as well. I appreciate you guys so very, very much. If you like this video, drop a comment. Let me know how you're doing. I missed you so much. I love you so much. There are, of course, links down below to donate if you feel so moved to do so. And you know my email is down there if you guys want to reach out to me. All right. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful, Monday.